Welcome back to another video. My name's Gareth James for mttpokerschool.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at a mistake that I made on this final table, three-handed in the 109 scoop that I actually won, and I want to see if you're making the same mistake that I am. Let's get into it. So here we are then, three-handed. We have a huge chip lead here, very comfortably out in first, and you can see the big blind has 27 bigs, the button has 17. They folded, and it folds to us in the small blind. Let's take a look at the payouts. So as you can see, first is just under 41,000, second is around 29,000, and third is just under 21,000. All right, so here's the hand. What I want you to do is, as soon as you notice the mistake in this hand, I want you to comment down below. All right, so here we go then. I start with a limp, and the big blind checks. Flop comes 8-7-5. We start with a check on the flop, and they go for an overbet, which is pretty interesting straight away. We call, we have a straight draw. We improve to a straight on the turn. Face a small bet. So we've got a few options here. We could call, we could raise, we could jam. I actually choose to jam here, and the big blind calls, and we absolutely cooler him and take down a huge pot. And now we have 124 big blinds against a 17 big blind stack. Heads up for the title. So did you spot the mistake? Where was the mistake in this hand? Hopefully you've already written it down in the comments. Here we go then. We're gonna go back all the way to the start of the hand and search for this mistake. Okay, so we've got a massive chip lead here, and the guy in third has folded, and we have a decision to make, and I decide to start with a limp. And yeah, this is the mistake, guys. We should never, ever be limping in this spot. We cover the big blind. He has no incentive to want to play a pot with us, really, when he's comfortably in second and there is a guy in third on under 17 big blinds. So we should either, in this spot, be going for a raise or a jam. And yeah, jamming seems like a lot of chips, but if you think about the big blind's calling range here, he just really can't call with much at all, and we just generate a lot of fold equity in this spot. So let's take a look at the solution to see where we went wrong. All right, so what I've pulled up on screen right now is our strategy from the small blind. You see the hands in yellow are going to be limps, hands in white are going to be folds, hands in sort of the brownie color are going to be a raise to 2.5x, and the hands in red, or we'll call it red, terracotta, I'm not sure what color you want to call it, but that would be a jam. And as you can see, there are no folds, and there are also no limps, and we should definitely not be limping in this spot. So as you can see, pretty big mistake straight off the bat here. Now, you might have put that there were other mistakes in this hand. Maybe you don't like the jam on the turn, maybe you prefer a raise or something else, maybe on the flop you want to do something differently as well. And so what we could do is we could analyze the hand after this fact. But the thing is that now that we've seen this solution, now that I've learned that we shouldn't be doing any limping here, there's no point in looking at post-flop because it's not going to happen like that in the future. So very often I see posts in the Facebook group, in my Discord group, where people want to say, okay, yeah, so we should have done this, we should have folded pre, or we should have raised pre, or whatever. And then they say, okay, but as played though, what should I do? And the thing is though, that as played, you should have folded, right? So it's not really as played. There shouldn't be an as played. If the line was to fold or to raise or whatever pre-flop and you didn't do that, then you've already learnt the key thing and you don't want to be focusing on post-flop because it shouldn't be happening again. In this situation where I've got a huge chip lead and I can put a lot of pressure on the big blind, I shouldn't be doing any limping, and so it doesn't really matter about looking at the post-flop spot because it's not going to come up again. We're going to be going with either a raise or a jam strategy in the future. So no limps, but also no folds. So you can see that we're actually able to apply a ton of pressure here, going for the raise with hands like 7 deuce off, 6 deuce off, 3 deuce off, 9-3 off. We're not folding any hands in this situation. Also, we're jamming a lot of hands, which, it is 27, 28 big blinds. So it's quite a lot of big blinds. Let's take a look at what happens when we do jam. The big blind can call with 6s plus, ace 10 suited, king jack suited, and ace queen off, and then little bits of ace jack off, king 10 suited, and ace 9 suited. So only really calling just under 9% of hands, and we just generate a ton of fold equity in this spot. And that's why we get to jam such a wide range. And now we're going to take a look at what happens when we raise. Because what you might think is, oh, if we go to 2.5x, the big blind's getting a good price in position, so he can just, just call a lot of hands. So let's take a look at that. So we go for the raise, and then this is the big blind's strategy. As you can see, still folding quite a lot of the time. He's actually folding 47% of hands here. All the hands in white are going to be folds. All the hands in yellow are a call. All the hands in brown are going to be a 3-bet, and the hands in red or terracotta, or whatever you want to call it, is going to be a jam. So he's going to end up folding a lot more because of sort of the lack of incentive to want to play pots, even in position against us when he's second in chips at this final table. So a lot of really big takeaways from this hand. When you're the chip leader and you're a big chip leader and you can apply pressure to the player in second place, currently in second place, then you should be playing really, really aggressively, either by raising or by jamming. You don't have a folding range and you don't have a limping range. Whenever you're studying these kind of spots, it can be really useful to see what you would do in the button shoes, for example. So obviously today we've just focused on, or so far we've just focused on what we should do from the small blind and then what the big blind should do if we raise or if we jam. But what can be really good and useful to do is to look at what you should be doing from the button. Let's take a look at that now. So I've just given the button two options, I guess three options if you include fold, but min raise and jam off his stack size. And you can see that he is going for the jam with the hands in the ready color and going for the min raise with the hands in sort of the brownie color. And let's take a quick look here. So he's min raising with about 15% and jamming about 4%, which means that he's folding a huge amount of the time here, folding 81%. So if you're in this spot as the button and you're just opening a normal 20 big blind opening range, then you're just going to be opening a way too wide of a range. There's several reasons why you need to be opening a lot tighter here. One is that it's a final table, and the other is that you're covered by both players that you're raising into, and finally it's short-handed, so there's only 3 players worth of antes in there in the first place. So if you're opening something like 40% of hands here because that's just what you do on the button with around 20 big blinds, then you're making a massive mistake. Alright, so I'm going to wrap the video up there. Hope you enjoyed it. If you've got any comments about this, then drop them down below. Also, let me know if you got the mistake. Did you notice the mistake before I pointed it out? And also, just give me your thoughts on what you think about this whole idea of, as played, you should do this. Do you think I'm right to say that you shouldn't be focusing on post-flop when you're making such a big mistake pre-flop? Yeah, let me know in the comments. Give me your thoughts on that. So as I said, I'm going to wrap the video up there. Until next time, guys, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.